What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch in the Rube, our Monday show, Labor Day show, presented by our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels. It is football season, which means it is muskox season. Whether you're going to be at a tailgate, any tailgate, in the stands, any function, you just want to look your best. You want to feel your best. You want to be able to handle a day that starts at 60 degrees and ends at 45 degrees. Muskox Flannel is here for you. Go to gomuskox.com, gomuskox.com, where Couch and the Rube listeners can get $15 off a flannel purchase with the promo code PEACOCK. That's Peacock this year. Our promo code for Couch and the Rube listeners, $15 off your flannel purchase at gomuskox.com. Jason, how you doing, brother?
Peacock?
Really good pianist.
That's crazy.
He got it! What's up, man?
You doing all right?
I don't know. I'm trying to rally. It was such a long weekend. Hard partying, just eating too much. You ever just eat too much and you're just like, oh. That's my hangovers now that I don't drink anymore.
Have I ever eaten too much? Look who you're talking to. This is like,
that's how out of it I am right now.
Yeah,
I'm asking you that stupid question. Anyway, yeah, it was a great weekend. Fantastic. Still going strong tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, it's not ending.
No.
We still have, even though we're laboring today for some reason, for the amount of shows that we miss and do 2 shows a week, we decide, yeah, Labor Day, we have to do a show.
Well, Labor Day
right in the afternoon.
In the sports world, and I like Labor Day for a lot of reasons. It feels like this, I don't know, it feels like the beginning of fall, the beginning of football season. So there's some, but from a work standpoint, it's the worst timed holiday in sports ever. And I've dealt with it at every place I've ever worked. Like, because there's always like ridiculous deadlines, or you don't have and it doesn't mean there's less days. It doesn't mean football has fewer games. Yeah. It doesn't mean deadlines later in the week change. It's like, what? Why? In newspapers, in the media world, like Labor Day is, we just got to admit, we're not celebrating Labor Day in the media world.
Is that what newspapers get wrong?
They get a
Labor Day holiday?
That's one of the things. And this is a 20-year bit I've been frustrated with Labor Day over that sort of stuff. Like, okay, we get lots of perks in the news business. We can work Labor Day. We should be working Sundays, too, and probably taking Fridays off basing on deadlines. That's a whole different issue. Yes, if you want to work banker's hours, go work at a bank. Sorry, that ran.
Were you on fire on Twitter over the weekend?
A little bit, not much. I had a couple old, classics. Yeah.
I love the classics.
The classics come out. They always come out the first week of college football, and I remember just how long the commercials are. And
when you're at a game.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. And people are saying, like, you're going to come out to the tailgate? And I was like, I was looking at tickets. They wanted like 100 a piece for Western. And then I'm looking at my 3 TV setup, and I'm like, why would I want to leave this? Mm-hmm. I didn't really know that there was long commercial breaks because I was on to the next game, and I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. If you move around, you can do it. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf and not complain about things that are mostly awesome. All right? We'll see how long that lasts. And or at least come back, like the column I'm going to do on this. If I'm going to do one more take on the length of the breaks in college football and because my issue is not college football. I love college football. I just think it's a really poorly packaged sport relative to some other sports. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down, grab my VCR in the basement, grab a
crushed tape,
grab a 1995, 30 years ago game, and just compare the amount of actual football we get versus commercials to today.
What if it was the exact same?
Then I'm stupid.
Would it blow your mind?
Then I'm a moron. Yeah, then it would blow my mind because there's no way it's the same. It is definitely
well, not
longer.
The exact, but maybe if it's close in the vicinity.
I bet you it's quite a bit more than you think. There was a moment where I
would like to know that.
I think there was over 10 minutes in a 15-minute span at one point in the MSU football game of commercials.
Oh.
It was pretty rough. And you notice it when you watch other sports. You talk about multiple TVs or flipping back and forth, like a great U.S. Open tennis match. Changeovers, minute and a half. That's if they give commercial times. They don't let Fox say, you know what, we've got the TV deal here, so we're going to make 4-minute breaks on every changeover in tennis. No, you get
airing the same commercials over and over again.
This is the sport. You fit your ass in it, and
that's the thing. Like I was, like I'm saying though, like right, if you saw different commercials, you see the same effing commercials, and that's why we have hot takes and listener, Twitter takes about how they hate commercials because we see them so often.
Is somebody who works hard to bring in. We try and organically bring our sponsors in, right? We try to make. We don't have like back in the day, we used to do like 5 commercial breaks an hour for a minute and a half. We don't do that anymore. We try to make it a better listener experience.
Did we do 5? Wow.
4. It was long. It was a lot.
Was it really?
It was like, and then we get together in the commercial breaks. Like, what do you want to do next segment? LeBron James? We got to get through hour 2.
We did it that
segment
way?
7. What are we going to do? Yeah, it was rough.
I know.
The radio show.
Glory days.
It's like 2006.
Part of me wants to go back to that, but a part of me doesn't. But the old school radio vibe. I love the old radio vibe, going live and the days of yesteryear.
Yeah.
Good times.
It was,
that's right. We're doing a show.
Yeah, we're people are listening.
Sorry, I thought we were just waxing poetic on a Monday.
I was doing a column last night for today, just trying to do something.
Did you get any sleep? Let's ask Graham if you got any sleep.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
All right.
I was trying to do
I know you work hard. So.
Thank you. And just something to have, something up for Monday morning, even though it's Labor Day and this is the week. Probably not to have something. Anyway.
Was it a panic column? Because I'm panicking.
No, it's not a panicking. But one of the things I thought would be fun to do is if I did something every week, looking through, and as I look through some of the historical games and matchups between teams, is the headlines back then of, what was happening at the LSJ when they played in 35, or the big headlines nationally, or whatever. And what was
1935?
Yeah, whatever it was. It's so interesting. You go back; they were better at digital journalism in 1935, 90 years ago, than we are today. This is a headline. Like, we don't know how to write an online headline in 2000. Well, we're getting better at it, but we're not great at it in 2025. This is from 1935 when MSU played Boston College. Same day, next edition. This is the headline. Clues lacking in shooting of Mason Farmer. Bertie Webb, 64, slain in loan office on farm after resisting bandit pair. Widow arrives too late with gun. 1,696 left in safe. Who the hell wouldn't read every word of that story?
That was from the game?
No,
was that game summary?
No, it was the next. It was on in the same edition. Oh. So it's like that's an unbelievable headline. I would have read every second of that story. And if you put that headline up today, clues lacking in shooting of Mason Farmer. Widow arrives too late with gun. Like, holy shit! Yeah, I'm reading that. Like, they were bet. We don't.
First month, 2 shekels. Next month, 95 shekels.
You want a subscription to the LSJ?
Even back then,
yeah, we were getting you.
How you guys were operating?
We were awful.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Times were tough back then. People really got screwed with the time.
Well, that was the middle.
Like, if you lived in that era, you got really fucked. Like, if you were up in heaven looking down and seeing what we get to, do and technology and everything, it's like, oh my God.
At least they knew how to
write. You read some of
headlines.
those old papers, and you're just like, what were people dealing with back then?
Plus, that was like the middle of the Depression, 1935.
Oh yeah.
The fact that there was still like $1,600 left in the safe. I haven't looked at an inflation calculator, but that's pretty good.
Stealing everything. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
What a blast from the past.
All right,
thanks for that, man.
Yeah.
What a way to start a show.
Should we dig into our takes? You want to lead off?
Go ahead, man. You're going to spin this non-covering win over Western Michigan here?
Yeah. Alessio, the backup quarterback, when you don't yet. I've always often said if you're a coach and you can go 6-6 but cover every spread, your fan base will be happier than if you go 8-4 and don't.
If there was a video shown of how, like, a pick six, if you were showing someone that had no idea what a football game was or football the sport, and you said this is a pick six, that would be the video of it. It was the most perfect pick six I've ever seen. And it also, a guy from the D'Antonio era picking it off and running it back to the house.
Tate Halleck,
so that way they couldn't cover the 20.5-point spread, which I faded, by the way. But, of course, as always, when we talk about it on the show, you feel for people that did sprinkle on that.
But it was. I was glad they at least covered like the teasers that I recommended. I was like, at least it didn't fall below that. We've seen
Screw your teasers, Couch. What about this offense? I'm scared of Boston College this week. Help me come off the ledge here.
Well, so we'll do a little of both because I think there's a lot to like and a lot to be weary of. And it's not you could feel either way. I think you can feel both ways.
Caw.
It's because the first half, I think part of it was the way the game went, right? The first half was pretty emphatic.
Yeah.
The defense was great. The offense moved well enough. There weren't explosive plays, but you put up 21 points. You're feeling pretty good about it. And the second half, I think they did, and just this is reading the tea leaves on Jonathan Smith. I asked him about did they hold things back, and he said, "Well, not in the first half." I think I think when they get up 21-0, there was a little bit of we're not going to show this. We don't need to.
This team scored 19 points a game. Don't hold anything back.
And you're right. They're just not good enough to do that right now, and they don't pass protect well enough. So here are the things to like, and these are things that I think carry over and are good traits to see. Right? I think you saw a pretty clean game, and Jonathan Smith talked about this in his Monday press conference. There were not a lot of you didn't get dumb penalties, a lot of pass interference, 12-man on the field. False starts, the thing that happens to undisciplined teams early in seasons, even some disciplined teams early in seasons, you didn't see a lot of that. I think that's good carryover. Oops, almost knocked my coffee over here. Very excited.
You're hyped up.
Yeah, hyped up.
Head dog over
so you didn't see any of that. I think that's really good stuff. You see Amari Kelly immediately live up to the billing. That guy looks like he's just a player, right? You see the running, the run blocking look, and again, we don't know if it's Western Michigan, how much of it, and how much of it's Michigan State, but the run blocking would look really good, especially on the right side of the line for a half, and it looked really good with two of the backs in there with Mekhi Frazier and Tullis. The pass protection, not so great, and the backs weren't great in that. Tullis had one just missed blitz pickup, and then you have apparently Jonathan Smith was saying sometimes the communication there wasn't great because like the back saw something different than the offensive line saw, and that's something you can't have.
Still, when you see a free player running at your quarterback, I don't care what the play was or the setup was.
You don't yell.
Dive at that guy.
Don't yell. Look out. Yeah, put a body on him. And so there's that. And then I think Chiles. I think that Chiles doesn't make the big mistake. Throwing is good. They didn't really push it downfield all that much, so we'll see what that looks like. And he wasn't that accurate out of the pocket throwing downfield. Jonathan Smith talked today about how in the second half, once the pass protection really had broken down for a while, his eyes started to drop too quickly, and he was looking to escape instead of keeping it downfield. And I think that's a challenge for him. It's a challenge for all guys who have running ability. If I was a high school coach of a quarterback who I thought had NFL ability and they could run, I would not let them cross the line of scrimmage running the ball in high school until the fourth quarter to try and win the game, because I think it's detrimental. That athletic ability that saves them at certain levels stops them from developing natural instincts to find it with their eyes. And I think that's going to be a challenge for Chiles. And his sort of pocket awareness and his quickness to get out of there and reportedly the pre-snap stuff was pretty good. But that's something we're going to see this week. So there's a lot of different ways to feel. And I think this week against Boston College, which is just a mammoth game for just the vibes.
It's a must-win.
You can recover from playing a decent ACC team and going 1-1. I'm not saying it's impossible. But it would certainly make the next couple weeks a slog. It would kill the steam and the momentum of the season. And for a team that it's not just the fans, for a team and a quarterback that's had this game circled for so long. I mean that Boston College game, and to their credit, they felt the pain of that for a year. Aidan Chiles, after the first day of fall camp, was talking about the Boston College game and how much that bothered him and how grateful he was they were on the schedule again. He threw 3 interceptions. They had a couple disastrous plays early in the third quarter there. That was a classic Chiles experience of his sophomore year where he was, in moments you're like, holy smokes. And they didn't have Nick Marsh that day and some other things went wrong. But that game for them, because they've circled it, and we'll see what sweat equity can matter and those sort of things. You see a really focused team with a lot of returners who really want that game. That stuff can matter.
So are you saying that they overlooked Western?
No, you don't overlook the opener. They were fired.
That's what that second half was about.
I think in the second half, they got a little vanilla, and they're not good enough to be vanilla. That's what I mean. And so whether that's a mistake or not when you're up 21-0, if you save something, like if you didn't put something on film with Nick Marsh that gets you a first down or a touchdown or a big play this week, then it's worth it, right? Unless you had money on the spread.
I sent Brian Lindgren a Venmo request after that second half. I wanted some money back. I don't care if it was a backup Rolly Massimino quarterback that threw that pick six to cover that spread. That second half against Western was an abomination, and it scares me for this week's game. I don't care.
It should.
You have to score more than a safety. That's the defense. The defense did that. You didn't score any points against Western in the second half, and you want me to get excited about the BC game. I mean,
and the defense was.
I'm scared.
The defense was good. Now, the other thing we'll see, like I thought they were resilient. I think there's good leadership there. I think they're going to be okay. And I think
defense was great too.
And
AVS was unbelievable.
And we'll see when they get tested a little more and they get beat here. If they
Joshua Eaton was great.
Yeah. No, I think there's a lot to like.
I'm with you.
Right.
There's positives for sure, but you can't spin me on that second half. There's
bad.
no way you can spin me on that, because if you would have just scored 17 points in the second half on top of what you did in the first half, I would have felt great going into this week's game against Boston College.
Well, I think the concern is also there have been through the first season under Jonathan Smith, there were some second halves where things weren't very good either. So like the concern becomes, is this a pattern, right? And this is one of those weeks where you find things out, because it could absolutely be the case where they got a little too vanilla and they're not good enough to do that, and that's fine. They go out and they beat Boston College and Chiles plays a clean game and he hits a couple guys deep and everybody feels pretty good. Or it could be the case where the adjustments aren't made again. They're not as good in the second half. They lose, and it's like, this is a thing. We just don't know right now. We don't know. But the second half did not inspire confidence. And
who started that narrative that they were withholding plays? Right? Like I said, after last year, you scored 19 points a game. I mean, Chiles was overthrowing a couple guys here and there. I get it. First game jitters, getting working the kinks out. But like I said, to not score any points against that terrible Western team.
I'll put it like this. When you watch what they were doing with Nick Marsh, they were withholding plays. They're not throwing everything they have. Nick Marsh is
then make up a play. Talent. Lindgren, like what a backyard play. Yeah.
Every draw in your hand.
Throw it to him deep then if you don't want to give up one-off plays. You got to get that. I don't give a shit. Against Western, against anybody, get Nick Marsh the ball. Never make that guy a decoy. It's ridiculous. I know he caught a touchdown, but still, withholding plays. Go deep. Throw it. I don't know.
What is your first take?
I don't know. That was kind of
That's what you got? Okay. Yeah. What is your next?
Buenos tardes. It is time for the Detroit Tigers gambling update with Gramanito Couch and Jason Nick.
I guess if saying I'm petrified of the Boston College game isn't a take, I guess I don't know what
That's pretty good. That's a good first take. What's your next take, I should say?
The Tigers. Are we back? I mean, the bullpen. Do we have to give Scott Harris some credit here?
Well,
we rip on Scott Harris for all these other moves.
He nailed it.
And I jumped the gun against Paddock too. I know he was 3-0, and when you do that, you get the Tony Dombrowski rage going in there, and Paddock his ass, and then you send that thing out, and of course the boys rallied to win that game. It was still kind of an ass outing for Paddock, but the bullpen, for the month of August, under 3 ERA, 2.98. Got to get excited about that, right? Are we excited about the Tigers, or we still just don't know?
No, I think it's one of those. The problem with the Tigers is
I saw that stat from the bullpen. I'm like, we got to give our boy Scotty Harris some credit.
I think at this point, the scary thing is the bullpen is limited, but there are some guys in there who are elite and maybe can get you through a series. I think the scary thing is you are going to start guys in the postseason named Jack Flaherty or Casey Mize, and
deal with it.
You just don't. You're gonna deal with it, right? And so you're just not gonna know.
Bats are hot.
Right. And you need Scooball to be brilliant. The problem with the Tigers rotation is you'd like to have you'd like Scooball not to have to be vintage Scooball in every single start in the postseason. If
bullshit.
If
he wants $40 million a year, I want vintage. You know what I mean? Like I've come to a crossroads with this Scooball thing of like, no, I'm serious. Of like. Especially when one of his outings went awry, the A's, I'm just saying, to pay a guy that much, and I know there's no salary cap, but you're starting to understand what kind of ownership sees and the way that pitchers are not guys that are workhorses. If pitchers were like a workhorse like they used to be, I would have no problem paying $40 million for a guy like that. But these guys are going into the 6th or 7th inning, and you got to make sure you have a great bullpen to surround those guys with. Because those workhorse dudes, I mean, the Clemens, all the Verlander, Scherzer, those guys were dogs and would go deep into the 8th, 9th inning. Those are guys I would have no problem paying $50 million for. Yeah. But Scooball, every 5 days, you're going to get, and every time he tweaks something or farts weird, you're going to pull him. So, I don't know. I could not be a baseball manager or GM, because if Scooball wasn't going to sign it, he'd be pitching every 4 days. Like, you're going. Then let's go. Let's make him an offer that doesn't embarrass us.
Let's test your arm.
Because, right. Obviously we want to keep Scooball. He's our homegrown guy. You want to pay our guys like that, but, the lack of production from these guys.
My next take.
Yeah.
College football weekend.
Ass.
Some of it was okay. But a reminder that certain things we know and certain things we just don't know. Iowa football gets a brand new quarterback they're excited about. Scott Docterman comes on here. This is going to be the year. They play Albany, a 4-8 team last year in the FCS. 44 yards from their new QB passing. And, like,
why do you trust Kirk Ferentz?
It's just
he should be on
unbelievable.
American Greed. He should have his own hour episode.
So we know that. What we don't know is, and this is why Tony Petitti's, little let's have a certain amount of teams from the Big Ten because the Big Ten is better little idea.
That's a good Tony Petitti. I don't know what he sounds like, but I'm guessing it's that.
It's somewhere between Mike Krzyzewski and Yoda, and so that seems like it's probably it. Anyway, you watch Alabama, Florida State. You watch what's supposed to be the pinnacle of the SEC against a team that 2 years ago was great in the ACC and fell off. And in the transfer portal, you just don't know how quickly rosters can rebound and how far they can fall, how quickly. You just never know. And so you see that game, and you see what happens at the line of scrimmage and other things. And how do you can't predetermine bids. There are lots of things we just don't know. Clemson, this was supposed to be the year for them back. LSU's the better team than Clemson. We just saw that. We saw physically they were the better team than Clemson. There are a lot of things we just don't know, and I love that. And as long as we react to it in the rankings and we let the season play out, and we pick playoff spots based on that, and we pick rankings based on that, and all that stuff, it's all good. We just got to remember we don't know shit going in, and so that's the tank. That's the tank.
So should week one? Because that was one of my takes, is week one next year, fade, like the whole week. Like, I was betting on teams. I really had no idea. It was a terrible, like, I need the North Carolina under tonight to salvage the whole Labor Day weekend of gambling festivities. But it's like I was gambling on shit I really
didn't know.
Yeah.
I think it's pick a few games and have some fun with it. And maybe
you got to crush a lot of tape preseason college football, especially now.
Or pick some underdogs.
Or just follow Harry.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't Harry have a good weekend?
Harry went, 6-1? I think
6-1.
Tail Harry. 5-1 on this show. I mean, just phenomenal work by Harry. It was a really good week there.
Fucking Wisconsin beating Miami of Ohio 17-0, having 17 in the hook.
You want to be careful. You just want to be really careful with
just
it.
Just fade it.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
You need to at least see week one, a week of action for these college.
It's like betting tennis. Early on, there's so many people are minus 775, and you're like, oh, maybe I should just put them in a parlay. No, they're going to lose.
Are tennis players soft?
No.
I just see a story after story about the whining, complaining of these. Now,
well, the grind of a 5-set
full disclosure,
match.
It is NewYorkPost.com, so they want to give you the salacious headlines from the U.S. Open. But
I think if there's one book I would recommend to anybody, it's one of my favorite books of all time, Open by Andre Agassi, his autobiography, which is ghostwritten. But anyway.
Does he talk about his hair?
No, it's the whole thing. Brooke Shields through everything.
Really? That's right. It is a good one.
It's phenomenal. It's really good. But the epilogue before the first chapter is this 5-set match with Marco Bagdatis in the late in his career in the U.S. Open, and the two of them holding hands, laying on the training table afterward. Just what that takes out of you, game after. These guys are tough as shit.
What a story!
All right, my final take.
They were holding each other's hand,
holding hands on the
because they were exhausted.
Yeah, they're just out of pure exhaustion. Yeah.
That's the one story you took out from that book.
No,
Shields, the guy wearing a fake hairpiece.
So good. No, they're Steffi Graf's dad and Andre Agassi's dad. Both these Steffi Graf's dad was this both overbearing tennis parents, right?
Yeah.
Agassi's dad was this former Iranian boxer, and Graf's dad. And the first time they introduced him, they looked over and the two of them got in a fight. It's unbelievable. Anyway, great book. Highly recommend. Lots of stories worth telling. Presented by our friends at Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing. Great place for a date night, a drink after work. You want to show up in a muskox flannel and have a nice, a really nice, totally blanking American.
Get yelled at by your dad there.
Sorry, don't get yelled at. You won't get yelled at your dad by there. An American stout at Midtown Brewing Company. It's fantastic. Tuesday trivias. Every week, and theme trivias every month on Thursdays. Go to their Facebook page to find out the schedule for those theme trivias as well. Final take before we get into the listener takes and some really good stuff. We're going to talk a lot of MSU football here. Micah Parsons deal.
Oh, that's right.
And obviously the Packers get him.
Yeah.
And I have a little bit different take on this.
You're pro Jerry.
I'm not pro Jerry because I think this is all the owner's fault. They couldn't come to a deal. Micah Parsons gets a load of money. But part of the problem with this is that NFL owners have yet to be able to put their own foot down to quarterbacks who aren't elite and say you don't get the same money as elite. So part of the problem with trying to pay Micah Parsons and the whole roster, Micah Parsons is elite in his position. He is one of the top difference makers entering his prime in football. Dak Prescott is not. He is a top 12-ish quarterback making the most money of anybody in the NFL at $60 million a year. And this goes for guys like Jared Goff, too. Like these are guys who should be interviewed in these situations. So, because Dak Prescott does not get a pass on this. He still has to lead the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. He is the highest paid player in football. You have to be elite for that. Or you have to, if you're a smart quarterback, if you don't want that pressure, then take $40 million and turn it to $60. Nobody's going to do that. But what I'm saying is owners have to, the way that we pay quarterbacks without having tiers, without admitting that Joe Burrow is different than Dak Prescott, that those two guys shouldn't be in the same realm, that a guy like just because Jared Goff's next up, he doesn't get the same as Patrick Mahomes. Like, that is just such a ridiculous thing, and it makes roster construction difficult. But if you're one of these QBs who's not elite, who gets paid by that, you better perform to be elite. When the Lions start to lose guys because of money, the window better not close because of Jared Goff, or he has to answer to every guy they lose because he has chosen to take the contract. Same with Dak Prescott. If you're not elite, I know this is a greatest hit in some degree, but this situation brought it about. They could not sign, they couldn't come to terms with an elite player, and part of it is because they chose to pay a non-elite player elite money at that position, and it's on the owners for not having tiers and how you pay. If a guy's making $60 million, it better be Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. A guy like Dak, who's a next tier down, should be at 40, 35. There should be different tiers for this stuff. And just because
Jerry Jones is still a penis, right?
He's off.
Like, I mean, you get a guy that Michael Parsons, first 4 years in the league,
you
12
you got to get more than 2 late first round.
But I mean, that's the guy you draft these guys, right, to become the player that Michael Parsons 100%, was.
100%.
To not play. Like, I think a guy like Michael Parsons can set himself aside. Like, he could get paid a quarterback salary like that. Yeah. The rare guys like that. But I agree with you in other instances with like a guy like Trey Hendrickson who thinks he's worth $55 million a year, right? You just have to, I don't know. But Dak Prescott's, they don't really grow on a tree. Like Micah Parsons, can you find another guy, maybe not a Micah Parsons, but a guy that can be disruptive on a defensive line like Micah Parsons is for cheaper than that? But for what Jerry got in the trade, I think if you were going to sit there and have the Herschel Walker thing again, but 2 first-rounders.
Late first-rounders
and an aging veteran. I know he's an all-pro defensive lineman from Green Bay, but you didn't really get a haul.
No.
That, right? Like,
and you did it in a weird
Jamal
time
Adams. You got more for Jamal Adams, Seattle did.
Do this before the draft, the last draft, you're going to get rid of him. Because then you would have got a draft pick that you would have just cashed.
But Jerry has a history of doing this, right? I mean, the Cowboys documentary's out. I refreshed me on the Emmitt Smith thing, and Emmitt sat out the first couple games. Yeah. They were fucking god-awful, and then Emmitt, ran the show because he's like, but Jerry, you got to pay me. So I just don't understand what this guy's doing, and a guy that's, I mean, how many more rebuilds does Jerry have in him? Well, that's 82 years old,
and you're not rebuilding. You just overpaid a corner, and you got to overpaid a quarterback, and you have you got a high expensive roster, and you got rid of your best difference maker.
It's just crazy being a Dallas fan, a Mavericks and a Cowboys fan.
Well, they at least got the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. So
because that's a conspiracy,
right?
They said if you trade Luka, we'll make sure you get the number 1 pick.
But before we dig into these listener takes, and it's going to be a good show, very obviously MSU football related with some good Michigan football and Lions and Tigers in there as well. Most entertaining thing I saw this weekend was not football. And this is when I realized that maybe there is some stuff with the commercials and other things. But if you got a chance to watch the Arsenal-Liverpool game on Sunday, incredible goal that was, even Jason would have enjoyed it, a set piece from 32 yards out. Just great stuff, and available, of course, on Xfinity, as is most of college football. Like if you're looking for one place to get all the college football, to get all of your sports, to get the U.S. Open, whatever it is you want, your entertainment value, start with Xfinity. Go to Xfinity.com, put in your address, check out the best offers for you in your area. Chances are you're going to save some money. You're going to see a package you like. I'm telling you, it's just the cutting the cord thing. We tried it, doesn't work. I mean, I still stream cable, but it's all there for me. And you can get deals to bundle Peacock and all sorts of things, so you get Big Ten games that are there Peacock as well at Xfinity.com. That is the most entertaining thing I saw this week, presented by our friends at Xfinity Comcast.
A plate setter. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Soccer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
A plate center.
Eric Schultz up first. Number 1, we should be worried that Chiles might actually suck. Still no pre-snap blitz awareness. Still loose with the football. 2 fumbles. And he missed every downfield throw. No second half points. Super concerning. And 2, this is the biggest non-conference game since Arizona State in 2019.
That's a good question. Biggest non-conference game. It feels big. You know, you can overstate that. But given what's happened the last few years and where things were headed, you could say that. Yeah, you could absolutely say that. It could be bigger than that because of where that tenure was going anyway. That there will be bigger games this season. It's important to note that the Michigan game will be bigger, regardless, right? And there will be opportunities. But this is really, you talk about a table setter, a place setter for the season. This is it, right? This is momentum. This allows the rest of this. This allows you to exist playing Youngstown State and be 2-0 when you're doing it instead of 1-1. It changes the vibe of the whole crowd there. It changes what you do, because you're going to blow out Youngstown State if you're Michigan State. You want to do that 2-0. You want to do that with good vibes. You don't want to do that where you're celebrating. Everybody's going, yeah, but you're just 2-1, and can you do it against good teams? You want to show it against a good team, do it against a shitty team, and then go to California 3-0 with everybody feeling good about things, and that goes for the players as well. This is a big one, and I think a game that's probably truly a toss-up. Like Michigan State's a 3-point favorite, opened at 2.5. That's just home field right there. So it's seen by Vegas as a pick 'em. Then again, Vegas has Michigan State only winning 5.5 games, so Vegas may not know what Michigan State is, depending on how things play out.
Maybe next. Number 1, concessions line was faster than I expected. The brisket sandwich was better than eating a hot dog. And 2, the DJ was bad. They stopped every song at the chorus.
First of all, props to maybe for taking a dozen donuts like 1,000 miles back home on like trains, planes, and automobiles. You know how many donuts would be left in that box if I was trying to do that transport? It'd be like one of.
You'd eat them all.
12.
Huh?
Oh yeah, they'd be gone. They'd be gone. So props for that. We're going to get into a lot more on the.
First of all,
she's higher on the experience than some others.
There was a DJ.
I guess so. I see one
like a standalone guy.
One of the things I don't like about Spartan Stadium is the glass in the press box is so thick that you really don't feel the vibe and experience. You don't, like some people feel, oh, that crowd's amazing. You just don't feel it. And while that's good in some degree, I prefer a stadium where outdoor press boxes are fun, but at least ones where you really feel like a part of it, and you sort of don't. You feel removed and above it, and it's sort of hard to tell. It's one of the things people ask about the DJ or the loudness of the PA and all that stuff, and I'm unable to empathize because I
wish
can't
I could hear it. Unfortunately, I'd like to do it. Tell Jay Bat.
Well,
thinner glass, Jay.
Trust me, Jay Bat is hearing a lot this week about a lot of these things.
Jebediah, number 1, Friday night was so annoying. I thought I was going to a commercial fest, and it kept getting interrupted by some football game. And 2, bonus, they absolutely did not fix the speaker issue. I lost my voice, not from cheering, just trying to talk to my friends over the blaring music. Other than that, the stadium experience was much better. Didn't go to the concessions.
What else is there? I mean, you have a seat, and you're in your seat. If you didn't go to the concessions, and the speaker sucked. What else is there?
You sneak something in?
Yeah. We've heard this from other people, and this is like something. And look, it's game 1, and J-Bat's gonna have to look at all that stuff, and it's stuff I don't understand why it can't be fixed. It's not something they don't know about. And do they think people just prefer it? Do they think people are just deaf? Like,
Huh?
I mean, old people wear hearing aids. My dad, when he stopped being able to hear everything, although he would take out his hearing aids at MSU football games.
I don't blame him.
He would take out his hearing aids when people started talking to him.
That's what I mean. It'd be a great thing. Like, he can't hear you. So
yeah, he'd just say, I don't have my ears in. Is what he said.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Pablo Ciccone, first game jitters and rotations. I think we'll be fine. It'll be good to watch improvement week by week. And bonus, concessions were ass. Went to get a beer with 6.5 minutes left in the first half. Found a short line that offered less options. This will lead to me smuggling booze in. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
How do you fix that?
Yeah.
More people walking around,
yeah,
offering booze out of the little cart.
They went to the levee corporate. When you go corporate, you used to have like all these volunteers, right? And it's like every church and group was, volunteering to make money and fundraise. And by doing that, they've got 75 people there. And they did not have this well-staffed.
So that's why you outsource it, so you can blame them when something goes wrong. Right?
Well, no, I think they'll get it corrected. But when you go,
it's a good bit though. If you have a company working for you in the stadium and things don't go right, like that's our third party.
Yeah, but this is a move by you too. You went away from something else.
I know, but we didn't know that they were going to suck so bad. So cut us a little slack, and we're going to work on it.
It's game one.
It's perfect.
It's game one. Yeah, no, you got to get it fixed.
It's a good move.
Got to fix. The food options are more plentiful. We'll see where it goes.
But people don't want to wait. How do we get the lines down?
Well, that's what. Yeah, you got to have more people. There's no question about it.
We need to look at the efficiency of how you're serving people and taking payment and stuff like that. Make it as simple as possible.
And the addition of beer, you got to get creative with that, because the addition of beer creates a different type of line with more people wanting different.
Everybody has apps. They could pay for it, swing by, pick it up from somewhere. Right?
Well, that gets tricky. You would put a little name like a.
Well, sure. It's all going to get tricky when you have that many people in one spot and trying to figure out how to get them their shit. But there has to be a way to do it.
Like, people are just, if you put somebody's name on it and says this is a coffee for Chuck, somebody's gonna walk up, fuck it, I'm Chuck, and just take it.
Right. You can't treat it like a fucking local Big B. I know it would have to be a greater thing than that. I was thinking of an idea like a locker system, to where you go up to a locker 17's yours, your order, you open it, it's in there, you go back to your seat.
AD Jason Nick.
I'm just saying, J-Pat, dude, let's go. Spartan Frank next. MSU's offensive line getting pushed massively raises the ceiling. Chiles' play is concerning. I'll say it. Dude looked like the same quarterback from a year ago, just without the picks, because we weren't throwing deep. Pocket presence also ranges from Neo-like to absolutely ass from snap to snap.
So this is I don't know exactly how much Chiles has improved. I think he is better than a year ago in a lot of ways, in terms of his maturity, approach, his understanding of his what he needs to get done. But often when shit hits the fan, so to speak, and your pass protection isn't there, and there aren't many college quarterbacks that look great when pass protection isn't there. Like Arch Manning, a guy who's like supposed to be the second coming, looked awful.
Bust.
Right? And so it's hard position to play young. And
I went to the horseshoe against that defense.
He did. Now that's different than playing Western Michigan.
$10 million defense. I mean, come on.
So, but it is important for Chiles and for this team that he becomes somebody who can stay in the pocket, and he becomes somebody who is accurate and on schedule and good pre-snap. Like, if those things aren't part of his skill set, you can have all the talent in the world. You're just not an NFL guy. You're not, and you won't be an overly successful guy in the college game. Now, there are lots of limited quarterbacks in the college game who have success. And there's one at Florida State who beat Michigan State at Boston College last year. And you can and also you can build an offense around those guys. But Chiles, the offense they're building they're trying to build an NFL offense, not an offense that's a lot of read option, live off quarterback runs and things like that. You could do that with Chiles, and that's for him to be successful in the offense they want to run, he's got to take steps. Some of those, I think, in terms of not making big mistakes, that's good. But some of that, we're going to have to see at a higher level, and he's going to have to show at a higher level, and it didn't show in week one.
Max next. The fireworks, video boards, and speakers were nice, but the biggest improvement to the fan experience was an offensive line that looks like it can block.
Yeah, they win. They look good. The fan experience, you just want to be able to get a hot dog in 10 minutes.
Or score some points in the second half against fucking Western.
Cover the spread. Yeah, those sort of things people want. Yeah.
I'm sorry. How were the first three takes not that? I cannot believe we didn't score offensively against Western in the second half. A whole half of football. How? And I'm supposed to be jolly about the Boston College game, but excited about it? I'm not. I don't know.
Nobody's saying you should be jolly about it. I don't think anybody's jolly. I think people are...
Faucet Liquor told me to be jolly about it.
Apprehensive,
on Twitter.
Apprehensive and hopeful, but a little concerned. I think there are a lot of ways to feel.
Child or Professor next. Chiles drifts backwards instead of stepping up into the pocket. The offensive line wasn't perfect, but that trait makes pass protection impossible. And bonus, Kalen DeBoer hasn't slept since Friday.
No, he is not. Although he's making a lot of money.
Is it worth it though? If everybody hates you,
I don't know why he left Washington. That just seemed like a great gig. I don't.
Why would you want to follow Saban?
Yeah,
there's other money out there.
He would have got
paid. He got a
shit
ton anywhere.
He must have known. He must have thought the roster at Washington was going to fall off or something, and he could retain what Saban had.
Saying, hey, we need Saban back. God,
Feinbaum.
Enjoy that money.
Who's that? Yeah, Feinbaum looks like that character on South Park. It looks the guy who looks like just a little bit of a penis. It's I don't know. I would. Feinbaum's great at what he does. I would not
Really
be overly concerned about his opinion.
There's a character on South Park.
Who's
that looks like
teacher?
a penis?
The guy who looks like is it Mr. It's not. I'm be confusing guys. Mr. Hand or no? It's not that. It's I'm doing this poorly. People correct this. Anyway, the
Hey, they went after me for Carly Rae Jepsen.
It's coming on this show. Don't worry. It's yeah. No, Chiles. Yeah, Chiles is Chiles' development and Chiles' instincts and development in the pocket are something to keep an eye on because there were some signs on
this season's going to hurt, isn't it, Couch?
Friday that weren't
twice.
great.
The shit's going to hurt, isn't it?
I don't know that yet. I don't know that yet.
He blinked.
I think what you saw. I think overwhelmingly relative to last year, this is a better situation by quite a bit, based just on the run blocking and the defense alone. I think there are a lot of things in the cleanness and the maturity of the team. This will be a flawed team, and they may not have enough playmakers, and they may or may not have a quarterback who can get it done for them. But they will be like when I watch that game, I don't see anything taking me off the thought that this team could win 7 games, especially when you watch what happened to UCLA and what Iowa looked like and things like that.
Spartan 18770 next. Number 1, at this moment, Aidan Chiles needs a constant MSU run game for him to be successful. Aidan was most effective Friday when running backs were successful. And 2, people forget that Alabama football has been traditionally mid unless they're coached by a guy named Bryant or Saban. Bama is just getting back to its natural level.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I don't remember their natural level. Right? Like, can you go back Alabama's before Saban? I mean,
the Shula era or whatever they had.
Right. I don't remember that. I just think of Saban.
Saban was there long enough now. Yeah, and they had Gene Stallings had some good years. They're just not going to accept it down there is the problem. And the problem with not accepting it, like Kalen DeBoer is a really good coach. And so if whether he can recruit to the right level, I don't know. And there was some film of guys like not putting in maximum effort that was a little disturbing. But if you're going to give up on a guy, number one, because he's not a good fit or whatever, you're going to start going through a revolving door there. And I would be a little careful.
Like Jimbo Fisher? I mean, they got rid of him.
I would be a little
$70 million.
Little careful in doing it too quickly. I'm not saying he's the right fit. I just, if you're the AD and you get rid of him, the AD should probably go too.
Nestle's Quick Hotel next. My naturally flawed game, one hot take on MSU is this team is kind of good. Defense seems solid, and the offense should find a groove to be just okay enough to get 8 wins. Chiles gets the Brian Hoyer serviceable but not spectacular QB award.
What's weird is I always thought Brian Hoyer when he was at Michigan State wasn't that good, and then he wound up playing in the NFL for 37
being a backup.
years. Yeah. But
so now he was good at MSU.
My take on Chiles though is something along these lines, and I think this is something Chiles needs to understand. I'm not telling a Division I quarterback exactly what.
No, people enjoy that when you tell them what to do.
Okay, yeah, but I just think he needs to understand that he needs to become good. He needs to become what an average quarterback or good quarterback would be with a lot fewer physical traits before he can let those physical traits really work for him. In other words, those physical traits don't help him now. Those instincts to put his eyes down and run and all those things, he needs to become solid. And we saw some of that. But so as long as I think it's better off for his long-term development if he is just good and not spectacular and gets rid of the ball and doesn't take off all the time and hangs in. And it works on all those components of his game. His chance to lead MSU somewhere real, that people remember him in big-time ways, like the way people think of Kenneth Walker or the way they think of great quarterbacks of certain eras or his chance to really lead MSU someplace before he's done requires him at some point becoming pretty good at a lot of things before he can get there first. And if that means, that's your first half of the season and you're really trying to develop in those ways, then do it. And yes, that might mean occasionally not having the 25-yard run down to the 3-yard line. Now, I'm not saying you don't take off and run at times, but if that's your instinct, and it's not going to help you ultimately be the best quarterback you need to be.
Bulky Bartakamis next. After Friday, I'm still really high on this team and Jonathan Smith, program building, improved line play on both sides, high potential running game, poised play quarterback, new dynamic receivers, mostly mistake-free, kept the play calling basics so BC doesn't have any film. So BC doesn't have any film.
Well, there is some of that. I mean,
Fucking
BC
hell.
did the same thing. Like BC didn't, I think for a while, I think BC was careful too. I think there is some of that. There's gamesmanship. This is a big game for both programs. These are these types of games that
Didn't BC's quarterback throw 4 touchdowns?
they struggled to move the ball for a while in the first half and the second quarter too. They're playing Fordham to a different level.
So what you're saying is forget what I saw in the second half.
I'm not.
against Western?
No, I'm not telling you to forget that.
Let it slide.
No. Again, I'm not telling you to feel any which way.
All right, I'm going to let it slide then.
I'm just saying,
I'll let it slide.
don't let that be determined. Don't let that think that they can't be more than that. But
I mean,
they've
it's
got to
not a
prove
good start, though.
They've got to prove it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Against Western, that's when I thought you'd do it, though. You'd prove it then. But Alex Mayer, number 1. The MSU offensive line actually gives me hope they can build to a top half unit in the conference. And 2, quarterback pocket awareness leaves a lot to be desired. And 3, need a healthy kicker ASAP.
This is the story that I think, you saw Ryan Eckley, who more than made up for his missed field goal. By the way, he doesn't usually take field goals. He missed a 46-yarder way wide left, but he also had 2 punts down inside like the 3-yard line. He's phenomenal. He's an NFL, average 51.3 yards a punt. He's an NFL caliber punter. His kickoffs were great. So they're not losing on special teams. But at some point, you also can't give up those 3 points. And I it'll be interesting to see how that comes into play this week. My guess is he's still kicking long field goals just based on what Jonathan Smith said today. And I just don't know how many of those you attempt unless you're really in the lead. If you need 3 points, you're going to go for it at this point.
C-Dubs 91 hot take. I would rather win a close game where the coaching staff tries out players at different positions to see what might work in the future than win by 50 points. And reasonable. Loved your article on Sam Edwards. Such a great kid who always does the right thing and deserves praise.
Yeah, interesting kid. It was Lansing Catholic, former star there, won a state title. And the thing about a guy like Sam Edwards that's fun to get to know and talk to is just a guy who's sort of been through it all, recruited by D'Antonio, the end of the Mel Tucker era. He's there, chosen to stick around. He has like 7 degrees and high-level things from James Madison over at Michigan State. He's going to do whatever he wants in life. But he's one of those guys, examples, and you see that now with this team in terms of leadership, and I think Jordan Hall falls into this too. Guys who are really, I think, will be helped in life by weathering the end of like the Mel Tucker era and going through that. And there is a learning on how to lead when things are at their darkest. And Sam Edwards talked about that, really understanding what leadership was.
We don't have enough time for all of that.
And showing up that season. And I think Hall showing up continuously last year when he was hoping to be the guy and they brought in a transfer and he wasn't. And then this year he is the guy and you see the player he's become. I think those are all, those are good life lessons.
Skylar Verdon next hot take. Michigan beat a group of 5 team by 17. Michigan State beat a group of 5 team by 17. Despite that, the narrative is the Michigan team killed it while Michigan State struggled. Half of the Big Ten barely beat group of 5 teams by 1 score. Michigan State is doing fine.
Did you watch the Michigan game?
I did. We had it on.
What were your thoughts?
I mean, the Lobos covered. That's all that mattered to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was my? I don't know.
What do you think of Bryce Underwood?
I didn't crush enough tape of Bryce to see. I didn't see his final numbers. I'm sorry.
But
I wasn't expecting you to have a book report on the
Michigan
Lobos
game. What were your thoughts?
We had company over, so I was kind of talking.
Okay.
I mean, like if you're gonna,
well, this is
I'm just saying, yeah. I'm sorry. I would have gotten a better look.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, Michigan is not a team that had a game beyond expectations. The thing about Bryce Underwood is I thought he was fine. He shows some things, looked like a freshman at times, overshoots some guys, has a tremendous fastball, throws everything like Andrew Maxwell, but not, nothing with a lot of touch. Obviously, a lot of more athletic ability than Maxwell. And it'll be interesting when he starts to face some real pressure. They were okay. I think there is more. You do have more Michigan fan media that is sort of there to trumpet and build that up and make him an icon.
Wall.
Well, no, we're not. I'm talking the built-in media, the people who aren't journalists because they want to be journalists. They became journalists because they're Michigan fans and they have a press pass. That's a different person, and there's just more of that. And so you hear that if you're on social media. I don't think. I think it was about what I expected. I don't think it was any better or worse. It wasn't a team that I looked at and go, Michigan State can't compete there. There was none of that really from the Big Ten this week.
And if Michigan State's offense could have just got, snagged a touchdown or two in the second half.
It was the order
maybe
in which,
a field goal,
It's the way things unfolded. It was the second half being so, like, wait a sec, what, lethargic? That third quarter really was lethargic, and it just felt like they lost steam.
Dang it, Bobby. Next, number 1, the Boston College game will decide whether we go to a bowl or not. And 2, Michigan plays a trash brand of football. Nonstop shit talk and flexing. Middle fingers at New Mexico. And 3, the days of SEC dominance are over since most don't have rich superfans.
So this is a take you hear nationally, the idea that I think it's Colin Cowherd always talks about, like the Big Ten money is real money. The SEC money is like car dealerships. And it's car dealerships. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting in the year of rev sharing. There could be a lot more parity. There will be some more parity because ultimately the schools like Purdue now are going to have $15 million to spend on football every year is a base salary, and even if you're doing it perfectly in NIL and with collectives, maybe you've got double more than that. But you still, when you talk about paying a roster of 85 kids and figuring out there's going to be a lot of talent that winds up at Purdue and thinks there's money and opportunity there. So I do think there's going to be also more parity just based on that as well.
And by the way, back to the Michigan game, we actually had some Michigan fans come over, and I had the TV outside, and I changed the Tigers game, which was 1-1 in the 8th inning, for the Michigan fan to watch the game. So as a household. So I didn't get to really crush tape with it because he shows up and was kind of just making it seem like, oh, yeah, why don't you have the Michigan game on? But, I like to accommodate when we have company over. I don't want to be a dick.
One thing I thought was, what I was talking about earlier, the idea that college football, how poorly packaged it is and all this stuff. And now, I let myself, in terms of what I want to watch, I sort of follow my own instincts and it's telling in certain moments. Ohio State, Texas. I mean, I watched it.
Boring.
But
terrible game.
Leeds, Newcastle was more enthralling to me.
Shit.
However,
right into this couch. Fuck me.
However, the next that night when it was LSU Clemson, which I actually did get caught up in and chose to watch that over maybe the Tigers and some U.S. Open tennis that was pretty good. And so I did tell myself, well, it may not be packaged how I love it, but I'm still choosing this. And so, it is interesting how certain things happen at certain moments. It's the Premier League soccer just absolutely amazing.
I mean, I can't argue against that. A couple moments or for half of football in those games where it's ass. I mean, defensively, and Texas, Ohio State, there was nothing really else on to flip over to. I mean, you have tennis, but I didn't really care. There's nothing, or soccer, and whatever. So there's, other options. But when we were outside, I just had it on. It was just back and forth defensively.
It was my favorite thing.
Not a fun watch. I can't defend it.
When Ohio State, Texas was 0-0, and people were complaining about the 0-0 soccer game, I did find that a little bit ironic. I was like, wait a second, what?
But the difference is I don't see and take that game and go, oh, man, guys, you're missing out if you don't watch college football. If you love defensive battles, I go, no, this first half of this game was complete ass, so. Right. Whereas soccer people think every game is fascinating.
I don't think that.
You and Harry. Aidan's Child next. Based on Big Ten Week 1 results, 8-4 or 9-3 for MSU looks doable.
So it was interesting to look around and watch these games. You watch Nebraska and a neutral site game, although mostly their fans against Cincinnati. Yeah, Nebraska looks okay. I mean, that's going to be a tough game on the road, but they don't look like world beaters. You watch Minnesota struggle to separate with Buffalo a little bit. You're like, that's a game that Michigan State's absolutely going to be in. You watch Michigan, that's a freshman quarterback, 34-17 against New Mexico. Okay, that's and then you watch UCLA lose what was it, 41-13 or whatever it was to 41. They got hammered by Utah at home, and you go, okay, that's
Northwestern. People were on Northwestern too against Tulane.
They're not on MSU schedule, but yes, that was.
I know.
They were not good. They were not. Yeah, so there was nothing this week that made Michigan State's schedule get more difficult. USC had a huge win, but Missouri State's like a brand new FBS team, and picked to finish last in the Conference USA. I don't know how much that is. That I guess USC is one team. Just based on how easy they made it look, you want to watch them again and see maybe they're a team, they're a program. Obviously, they put it together. They have some explosive players. They could be a real challenge. And again, if you're Michigan State, when you go to USC, you want to be 3-0. So that doesn't feel like the must-win that this week does. Because while USC is an opportunity, we talk about the Miami game in 2021 to have that sort of vibe, momentum. If Michigan State is 3-0 and goes to USC, and USC winds up being the next best team on their schedule, maybe other than Penn State, and they lose on the road there in a game that they're fairly competitive in, nobody's going to say, well, there goes the season. Okay, that Michigan State's not quite there yet. That was a tough road game. You come back and you got a bye week, and you go to Nebraska and important games, Indiana. Like, there's lots of stuff. This week, it feels like that you got to get this week done, so that week doesn't feel like an absolute must-win.
Jarrett next. College football offenses overall have taken a huge step back due to the transfer portal. Coaches can't run fast-paced spread to have more possessions to score more points like in 2014.
There's less continuity, certainly, and even these top programs, like this guy transferred from Nebraska, Texas A&M. Everybody's from everywhere. It probably takes long. I think the offensive lines have really taken a hit. For sure. I mean, the places where you need continuity and program development.
Ben Schulich next. Feels like this is a must-win game for the Lions this week to avoid the sky is falling takes from fans and talking heads.
It'll be
already?
Yeah, if they, I mean.
Jared Goff. Why? Because Micah Parsons went to the Packers?
It's on the road. I don't see that. The NFL seasons, we know the Lions are good. This isn't Michigan State. To me, they can lose this week. And yes, fans may have those takes, may have those sort of senses, and it may feel that way, and it may feel that way on social media. But the
sky is falling.
But that won't be reality, because a week later, they beat the Bears, and everybody's like, all right, well, they're 1-1. What big deal? I mean, the
only way you can have a sky is falling text after 1 week is if one of the major players goes out for the year.
Yeah.
Like a Hutch or Goff or something.
If you are worried that you are going to be this person on social media, I would right now go to gomuskox.com. Start thinking about ways to look, feel your best, have comfort and confidence in your life, and that's what Muskox does. Like, you look at me, I'm absolutely hideous. I got freaking 3 chins, man boobs. I need a neighbor's cat to give me confidence in life, except when I have a Muskox flannel on. Then I feel like a strong, confident individual who's worthy of my wife and my life. And again, that's all through Muskox. Go muskox.com, promo code Peacock for $15 off your flannel purchase. It is football season. It is Muskox season.
Money bag next. Number 1, MSU taking the foot off the gas and bringing in backups was always going to happen, but coming out and looking decent for the third quarter, at least, would have made me feel much better. And 2, part of my confidence in Chiles making major improvements was based on me thinking the pass protection couldn't possibly be as bad as it was last year. We'll have to wait and see on that. And 3, guys like Chuck Brantley are good enough to be playing snaps somewhere and putting film on tape for scouts. Hope they're happy with their decisions.
The pass protection, I think, is being a little bit under. I mean, the run. Okay, the offensive line is being graded on a curve, right? It's been so bad for so long that we have, watching Michigan State run block in ways that we just haven't seen that often, even against a team we don't know if they can stop the run. I mean, Western Michigan might wind up giving up 600 yards against the run every week, and this wasn't that impressive. The pass protection is concerning. It's also concerning because you got a quarterback who's still trying to develop and build confidence in himself, and his instincts are to flee when the pocket breaks down. You need good pass protection there. You could argue a lot of times that's almost more important given the weapons and receivers. The flip side is an earlier person said, is Chiles is his best when there's a running game. And so I think it is a grade on a curve situation. But the pass protection's...
So they're not to blame for the lack of scoring in the second half. Like, who would you put to...
I think
blame on
Chiles.
I
would put it on everybody. I would put it
coaching
on
staff.
I would put it on the coaching staff for changing out backs. They went with Tao Tolliver, who's I don't think, based on what we saw, as good as the other two guys who played in the first half. I think there was a lot of rotation with the offensive line that caught up with them. I think some of it was Western made adjustments. Now, Michigan State's got to do that, but it was a defense that they had never seen, a coordinator who had never been a coordinator before for Western Michigan. So there was a lot of things they were trying to figure out, and I think some of the adjustments Western Michigan made in the second half were new things that they didn't figure out quickly. So I think there's a lot of different things, but I would be like, I don't think it was promising, and I think it's one of those things to keep an eye on. I would be more concerned about it for Michigan State if the game had been 10-3 and they didn't come out needing to, and they needed to show what they had to make sure they won the game. The game felt in hand, and I think Michigan State approached it like it, even if they're not saying it.
The Carly Rae Jepsen of Southern Maine next. Best take. Rich Homie Quan didn't die for MSU to not be able to pass block against Western. And baked. Did we abandon Blue Sky already? This app is lovely if you enjoy crypto bots.
He was back on Twitter. I forgot to ask originally for the hot takes on Blue Sky. And I
that's why
it.
There's not so many.
Well, no, there are. I eventually got it out there, but yeah, there were some people who got, and I apologize. It was I don't know how I forgot that. Usually it's like instinct right away.
Did you get Therese Lestrocios? I think she just had one.
Oh, I didn't.
She was
see
really
hers.
bummed that Benetti wasn't doing. Her mind was blown when she was doing a football game. I had 3 TVs out, and he was on what football game did he did a college football game?
What did she?
And she saw him. I don't think she sent it. Don't worry about it. This is pretty much all the take was.
Okay.
Is that she was really
she was bummed
she thinks that Benetti should just do Tiger games, like he should always do them, and her mind was blown when she saw, I forget what college football game he did over the weekend instead of the Tigers.
There was a game last year, right, where he did skip his football because it was like late in the year and they were trying to make the playoffs. And look, one of the reasons they got Benetti, and one of the reasons when you get a guy of that caliber who's got a national assignment, is you have to let him go away. And usually it works. Dickerson, I think he tweeted out, or the Tigers tweeted out that he had his mother's fallen ill or something like that. Because usually one of the
I was like, damn, his mom is still alive? That's pretty wild,
outstanding,
right?
Outstanding.
What's the math on that? How old is she?
Which is good genetics for him. Means he might be doing Tigers games
I know,
for a long
but when
time.
you hear that, right, your mind automatically goes like, damn.
Well, no,
Dickerson's mom?
How old is he? Probably 65? And so, his mom might be late 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
So, but what's great about the Tigers is I love, Dan Dickerson as well, and don't hear him all that much because I'm often watching the broadcast. So I enjoy the Benetti breaks usually because you get Dickerson for a game, and I enjoy that. And when you don't get him, you really feel it. That's the only time. When both guys are gone, it's like, oh, wait a sec, what just happened here? So that's why.
And she doesn't really know or have a past with Dickerson like we do, because I don't mind when Benetti doesn't do it as long as it's not the Apple TV crew. Those people look like weirdos. Looks like AI instead of like a real game. So if Dickerson were doing a game on whatever FanDuel network they're on now, it doesn't bother me. But she just sees Benetti and like, I don't know. It was just funny to watch her mind. She's like, couldn't understand why he was doing a football game. But if he likes doing them, who cares, right?
No, and it's part of his it's him. Yeah, I mean,
just her take.
Yeah, no. I have some breaking news here, by the way. Yeah.
Oh.
Mark Gahey, the great Crystal Palace defender, who I was worried was going to leave to Liverpool on a transfer agreement. I want one last great ride for Crystal Palace. They came to a deal, but Crystal Palace couldn't replace him. Glasner, the manager, didn't want it to happen. Gahey is staying at Crystal Palace. Fuck Liverpool. That is what we are. Yes, big.
This is what I see.
Big news. Big news here.
Everybody stops and they're staring at me. I got passion in my pants and I ain't afraid to show it. Show it. Show it. Show it. I'm sexy and I know it.
Come on.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Oh, I thought we were just doing whatever we want to do on our podcast day.
Sorry, my bad.
That was the breaking news?
That was it. Apologies. I was really excited. I want. They're the little guy. It would be, and they're not even the little guy, but they're.
And it's still going.
Sorry, keep going. Let's move on.
Peasy, number 1. Would have been nice to open the playbook just a smidge more, but I get it. Bonus, Nadami Tucker is a P4 player next year, and bonus. You are forgiven, Jason, or for now, Jason, but just remember, Carly Rae Jepsen shooters were everywhere. I guess so. My bad. I apologize for getting her confused with a middle-aged white lady.
So Nadami Tucker is number 11 for Western Michigan, who showed up all over the field. And, that guy is...
How much does he want?
I don't know.
Can we get him this year?
Yeah, so I remember watching...
Hey, Matt, Ishbia, let's get this done.
It was like every time you saw somebody in the backfield, like, God, 11, that guy.
Right, let's cheat.
And that's what's really hard about being a Western Michigan in this world. Like, you wind up with this guy, and although he is a senior, I think does he have another year of eligibility? I think this might be... I don't know how much he played in 2022, so he may have one more year.
Maybe he just looks like a monster against Michigan State and no one else.
I don't know. He was pretty good.
Yeah. Scott, number one, in-game experience was solid, except for the constant flow of people in and out of seats. It was nonstop the whole game. And 2, concession lines were terrible, half-quarter wait times. This made it very difficult to navigate the concourse to simply take my daughters to the bathroom.
Yeah,
people that are in and out of their seats, though, there's got to be...
So when I used to go to games with my dad back in the day, I had it down, and I'm surprised more people don't do this. It'd be like inside of a minute left to go in the half, 30 seconds. And obviously if one team was about to score, but I would take my dad's $20 bill, and I would head down, it was the only time I'd get up, and I would get one of the 2 things I had to do at halftime were use the trough and get an ice cream cookie sandwich from my Melting Moments. Those are the 2 things I had to do, and I had basically a 20-minute halftime to do it. I would get one of them done, like I would beat the line entirely to the bathroom pretty much, and then get one of them done and then go get the ice cream
in the trough,
and then go get the ice cream with a little bit of a line, and then be back with 12 minutes to go in the half. I'm surprised more people don't do that, because if you wait to sort of mosey out at halftime, I just can't imagine trying to do 2 things down there at once. But it seems like during the game, line shouldn't be that long. When action is actually happening, I'm a little surprised this is an issue. I don't really that you shouldn't be missing half a quarter. And if you're gonna maybe this is the answer. If the concessions are gonna be this bad, maybe Fox and you get together with all the commercials, and let's do a 9-minute commercial break so you don't miss action. We'll all agree in the middle between the third and fourth quarter, do 9 minutes in a row.
Like an intermission.
Get up, do what you need to do.
Countdown clock.
You got kids that need to go to the bathroom. This is the time to do it. Let's go.
Yeah. You got a DJ. Scott, number 1, in-game experience. Did I read that? Yep. David Jackson, number 1. Very happy with the defense. Hope you see more of Snow. 2, having a high-tier number 2 wideout is a blessing. If Western was taking away the deep ball, then why didn't Marsh catch more intermediate balls? And 3, running backs who give the lookout blocks and pass protection simply can't be on the field.
Yeah, I think Tullis got some grief for this, and I'll be curious.
Come on, it was brutal.
It was bad. Yeah. That one was not the fumble was not on Chiles, and I understand he was sort of, facing that way, but you want him eyes downfield. You have to pick up that block if you're a running back. You have to chip away. You can't.
That's high school shit, right?
Yeah, you got to. And guys, look, they play and don't play based on that sort of stuff. It makes a big difference. It was the reason L.J. Scott was only in as like a freshman in running situations, because they did not trust him to pass protect. I mean, that was. And
we saw what the backup quarterback can do, so we have to kind of.
I feel bad for Alessio, because I actually think he's a talent, and he's
only thrown 2 passes.
The best thing that came out of
both pick sixes.
The best thing that came out of it, though, was that people won't be clamoring for him. It's not like one of those things is
what a silver lining.
Yeah, I guess it's that.
Yeah. Thankfully, no one will want your backup to play, so yay.
Well, he's usually the most popular guy on a team, right? The backup quarterback, the unknown, so to speak.
Yeah, but not when he throws the pick 6 to not cover the fucking spread.
100%.
All right. Kermit the Spartan. I'm worried about our pass protection. They're like Wi-Fi with no password. Anyone can get in. At this point, it seems the only thing they're protecting Chiles from is success.
Yeah, it's something to keep an eye on this week. They got to be better there. Now, it'll be very interesting to see if they stop rotating. Like, they rotated basically 2 groups, and they moved their right side of the offensive line to the left side, brought in a new group. Like, they want to get down to 5 guys. I think that might have had something to do with it. It'll be interesting what running backs are in there on third downs. If you want to see who they trust, passing situations, which running back is in the game. Those are really important things. By the way, if you need great Wi-Fi in your life, Xfinity is here for you. They have great deals. Go to Xfinity.com. Again, type in your address. They have great deals on connectivity, on cable, on mobile, and you can do internet and mobile together for as little as $50 a month. If you go to Xfinity.com, right away, it's on the main page. Shop the offer. You'll put in your address. There are all sorts of great offers there. Everybody thinks of Xfinity for just cable and internet, but mobile, their reach there is every bit that Verizon has. Same exact coverage area, just better pricing. Go to Xfinity.com.
Ralph E. next. Do you pay attention to PFF ratings? Do you read other journalists' stories on Michigan State sports?
I do.
Graham.
I do to some degree. Yeah, I do to some degree. I'm talking about reading. I do pay attention to PFF ratings. I trust my eyes on them. There are times that, like, guys, especially in the offensive line, you go back and you watch a game and the guy rated really well, and you watch it and you're like, I don't know. But I do pay attention to them, and I do read a lot of other stories from other people, because you want to know what people are thinking and what they're reporting. Now, not everyone, like, if I'm in on the same interview and a guy writes about something, I don't tend to
rip on them with other colleagues.
I don't tend to
text.
Don't tend to read that. No. I do have some text change. We do rip on each other, which is not surprising.
Corey Ostrom. Number 1, Connor Moore will be the starting left tackle by the Big Ten opener. 2, Anelu Lafale and David Santiago will emerge as the most effective edge rushers and be a delightful surprise for the MSU fan base. And 3, Coach Smith showed nothing on offense and will empty the clip against BC.
That's what Jason's counting on. I think Connor Moore.
Empty the clip.
I think Connor Moore's really good. I think that was a great transfer portal pickup. And they've done it. They did a nice job on their pickups on the offensive line. There are several guys who I thought their transfers this year, and we'll see how this plays out. But from Eaton at corner, Amari Kelly, a couple guys on the offensive line, like they really went out and identified some spots, and I think hit. And in week 1, it showed up.
MCV 0512. Number 1, not scoring any offensive points in the second half. That has carried over from last season. Hasn't gotten enough coverage. Some coaches might need a fire lit under their ass. And bonus, Jay Batt's next assignment as MSU's AD is to burn the concessions to the ground and start over from scratch. Running out of food before halftime is beyond unacceptable.
Yeah, there were stories about this. Both the TV stations did it. It was.
It's the third-party company we hired, unfortunately.
Yeah. What is it
called, Vern?
It's on them. They oversee it. And Levy. Yeah. And they got to get this fixed. And it's not – this week will be one thing. It's a big game. The week you really got to have this down is Youngstown State. When you go to Youngstown State, you want to see some things, but you're going for the experience. You want the Spartan football experience. You're going for the band. You're going because somebody gave you tickets. You're going to have a melting moment sandwich or a beer with a friend. You're going for the experience, and you got to have the experience right by the Youngstown State.
So you have to wait in line for an hour?
Well, that's what you got to get rid of.
The full experience.
But then also leave your seat like 10 seconds before the half. Get a little of it. If you get up at halftime, I don't want to help you. It's just 80,000, 75,000 people all going to the same spot. I have no the halftime, going with everybody else at halftime does not make sense to me. If you go on your own in the third quarter, it should not take you more than 10 minutes to get back. Then nothing should be long at that point. You got to build a system that's not too bad.
Say goodbye to your loved ones. I'm not going to see you for a while. See you. Matty B, number 1, MSU's pass blocking was underwhelming, but I am far happier to see improved run blocking. It seems harder to fix in season. Hopefully it continues. 2, someone wake MSU's offensive coordinator up from his halftime nap. The staff has been outscored 174-83 in second halves since they've been here. That's doubled up, by the way. They've been shut out 4 times, and they've only outscored one of 13 opponents. Prairie View. Sorry, that's unacceptable. Wake up.
It's a good number. Now, some of that is because as a team they were not very good last year. But they also won 5 games and only outscored one opponent in the second half, right? So, and so far they've beaten 6 teams and outscored one opponent in the second half. So it is something to keep an eye on. It's, again, there were reasons maybe for it last week, although they're not really leaning into those reasons. And so you got to be better this week. You can't, the odds are if you don't outplay Boston College in the second half this week, odds are you are going to lose. Let's take a really quick break. We come back, more of your hot takes. Couch in the Roof, our Monday show, presented by our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels.
Firekeeper's Online Casino and Sportsbook is the site to play from your phone, tablet, or laptop. Get in on all the football action with pre- and in-game wagering. There's showdowns every week in football that you can't miss. Plus, the college and pro hoops are red hot, and the pucks are cool. Get your first casino deposit and sports wager matched up to $500 each. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older and located in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. Where else can you cheer on your team? Enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi. Sip on handcrafted cocktails or one of 46 beers on tap. Take your game day or date night to Cask & Company Kitchen Bar or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. 2 amazing places with one awesome blended modern American Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Ever wonder how comfortable you can be and how good you can look? Put on a Muskox flannel and find out. Muskox has new arrivals for this fall, including the Caper Green Grand Flannel, which even makes couch look good. Muskox is a Detroit-based flannel company that creates soft and durable flannels made to last a lifetime. They become a great partner with Couch in the Rube, not just because they make us look good and feel good, but because they're good people too, and a socially conscious company. For every $100 purchase, $10 is donated to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation. Muskox flannels are designed with 100% cotton that is ethically sourced and double brushed for softness. Feel the quality and comfort of a Muskox flannel by ordering at GoMuskox.com, where Couch and the Rube listeners can enjoy $15 off their flannel purchase with the promo code HOFF. Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com. If you're looking for a relaxed vibe, great food, and an outstanding beer selection, Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing is your place. Enjoy their famed chicken and waffle fries, fish and chips, or any of their delicious burgers or salads. Midtown Brewing Company also offers 40-plus beers on tap, including ciders and seasonal offerings and daily happy hour specials. The spacious and cozy vibe makes Midtown Brewing Company a perfect place for a beer with a friend, a work lunch, or to watch the games on its big screen TVs. If you'd rather eat at home, Midtown Brewing Company offers a terrific carryout menu and free delivery on orders of $20 or more. Visit MidtownBrewingCompany.net or stop by 402 South Washington in downtown Lansing for the Midtown Brewing Company experience.
Find Couch in the Rube podcasts on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Google Podcasts, CastBox, and the Rube's favorite podcast addict.
Couch in the Rube, our Monday afternoon show, brought to you by our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels. Football season is Muskox season. We're getting, it won't be long before it's October, which is like ideal Muskox weather. But we're already getting there. Chillier weekend. It's a great fit. It's something that you can wear when it's a little warmer. You're not going to sweat when it's 60, but you're going to be really comfortable at 45. I think that's one of the things Muskox does really well. Durable, unbelievable look, and it'll last your, I don't want to say a lifetime, but none of them have worn out on me yet, and I wear them all the freaking time. And so look your best, feel your best with Muskox Quality Flannels. Go Muskox.com. Promo code for Couch and the Rube listeners, Peacock, for $15 off your flannel purchase.
Chris up next. MSU looked much better than the box score indicated. They hit the cruise control for the second half and started experimenting, leading to stalled drives. Offense was able to move the ball with ease. Defense was dominant, barring some nice catches. Hope they can build confidence with a win next Saturday and bonus. I can't tell if the close big matchups this weekend indicates short-term growing pains from the amount of transfers, or it's more indicative of an increase in parity among the Power 4 teams in the NIL transfer portal era. Hoping it's the latter, but something to keep an eye on.
If you're Michigan State, parity is good. Like, you want fewer teams that are always at the top. And one of the problems in the pre-NIL, even in the NIL era, but in the early stages of the playoff when it was 4 teams, that really helped it just made Clemson better. It made Ohio State better. It made Alabama better. It made the teams that were already there, just built those brands. I think when you can get 12 in, people want to be on playoff teams. I think it's going to make a difference. I think you're going to see a lot of different 12s get in. And I think the other thing is, what I loved is the number of teams playing really good first-round matchups that don't have their whole playoffs ruined. Like, I don't even know what ESPN's doing today, because forever it was Heather Dinich and I didn't mean to throw Heather under it. She's fine. But all these people who are like, talking about the angst of the reports on, are they out of the playoff after week 1 and all that bullshit that lasted for 10 years that I freaking hated. It was like my least favorite thing in the world. I should least favorite thing in the world. And now you can't do that, because if you're Clemson, just win all but one of the rest of your games and you're going to the playoff. If you're Notre Dame, you're still okay. You just got to go 10-1 the rest of the way, and you can play these marquee games. The regular season still matters, but there's no incentive not to play these games, and I think you shouldn't be punished for playing them either.
Scotty Green's El Camino next. Number 1, the offensive line was better than game 1 last year. Omari Kelly is that dude. Reminds me a lot of Jaden Reed. But Chiles' pocket awareness is a major concern. He doesn't feel pressure the way he should. And 2, let's slow down the J-Bat love fest a little bit. I get he's made a good first impression, but giving him the game ball, the dude didn't play. Give it to the damn defense. And 3, one more. College game day is unwatchable. Elderly abuse. Herb Street acting like he's the first dude to ever own a dog. Desmond's annoying fucking laugh, and Saban looking like he'd rather be mowing his lawn. Just complete ass.
Yeah, I mean, it falls up against the Premier League schedule, so I don't really see it anymore. But, yeah, some people I liked Lee Corso for a long time, so I think the
Did you cry?
No, I did. Did
you watch it?
I saw clips of it. I did not watch it.
Was it the most uncomfortable thing you've ever witnessed? The one where he was sitting in like the movie theater setting, and while he was staring up at the screen. The pre-taped one.
I'm glad it's done. I'm glad it's over. And maybe we do things a little 5 years
Street
earlier.
was just sobbing.
Yeah.
And then they cut to Corso, and he's sobbing, but he's sobbing like in 90-year-old sobs. And it's just, I'm like, what am I watching? I just want to watch football and have like 3 hours of not having to worry about depressing shit. Is that too much? Is that too much to ask?
What did you think of the game ball going to J-Bat?
Hell yeah, dude. I'd give him one. Why not? That Western game?
Yeah.
Here you go, Jay. No points in the second half. We're working on that. But here, we're going to give you the game ball.
He's your boss. He's a new idea. I get it.
You have to.
If Jonathan Smith had mentioned something about the concessions, it would have been funny, but he didn't.
How was that Mun tailgating? Jay, come here.
Look, I heard good things about that, and I think people will like that. And so, not everything's going to be a slam dunk. And the Caesars Sportsbook thing that Alan Haller did, turned out not to be a great fit. But at the time, the type of revenue he was trying to bring in, the idea he was thinking,
you don't have to defend Haller anymore.
I understood. What I'm saying with Jay Bat, there are going to be things that he tries that aren't instant successes that he thinks are beneficial long term, and you have to let things play out a little bit.
Tailgating is back.
Yeah, and I would
give him that fucking game ball.
I would have given it to the defense too.
No, Ethan Charmella next. Number 1, I miss seeing Chris Fowler on College game day regularly. My favorite person to hear call a game. And 2, Aiden West and Derek Simmons will both be a part of the playing rotation through the end of the season.
I do miss Fowler. Was
really
I like Reese Davis too. They were both great. I love Fowler because Fowler's on tennis right now, and so I've always liked Chris Fowler because I love him doing tennis, and so I've always liked his voice. I always liked when he does like in January. He'll fly straight from the national championship game to the Australian Open, and he's doing a day later, he's doing some big tennis match, and you're like, oh, this is fantastic.
Never hear that guy complain. Can you imagine if Couch had to do that? He had to go from a football game to Australia.
That's pretty amazing. I would never complain. For 7 figures on a private flight, I would not complain. Actually, you're not.
True, I forgot about the.
You're probably not flying private to Australia. That'd be pretty expensive.
Why not?
It's pretty expensive, man.
I
can't imagine that length of flight would be done private.
All right, Richard Kane next. You want to fix the MLB postseason? Here's how: eliminate divisions. The teams play 29 opponents 6 times, 3 home, 3 away, 174 game regular season. Holy shit! 2 league winners play in the World Series. Otherwise, GC, you're just going to have to deal with the occasional annoyance of a team getting hot at the right time winning.
I don't mind that at all. Like, I don't think we need this to try and have, limit the teams. Like, I don't mind more teams having a chance to get in like it is now, because I think it increases fan interest later in the year. 100% into that. 174,
though.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Just looking at that number, I was like, woof.
Can you imagine another 2 weeks of the season even after this? What I would just like is the postseason to a little bit more reflect the regular season. That's all it is. Like the ALDS goes to 7 games. I know it's built for TV, but you only get 1 day off in a series like you would in a week. I just want the things that helped you win in the regular season to be the same things that help you win. You need the depth of pitching. I mean, this may not help the Tigers this year, but I just want those sort of things. And you're going to get hot teams. You're going to get bats that all of a sudden get cold. That's absolutely okay. I just want it to not. I don't like anything that's too short a series and too many days off and just not indicative of the regular season. It should be a similar type grind, a similar type pace. And if you had that, whatever happens, happens.
Some dude next. This is a public service announcement for all Couch in the Rube contributors. If Couch misses your takes, it's not because he doesn't like them. It's due to Couch being Couch. Evidence of this is when I had this great take about overpaying Coach Mel Tucker once upon a time and just resubmitted the following week. Mm-hmm. He then declared it such a great take that it was worthy of the take of the week during the gift card days.
I hope you eventually got that gift card, some dude.
The good old gift card days.
Yeah, well, there are times. I don't mean to ever miss it. What's funny is some people, too, want to be higher or lower in the show, and sometimes I will start with a take. I'm like, that's really good. I'm going to put that pretty high up.
Some money would help.
And then
Venmo us,
And then all of a sudden I realize the way I built the show, it's toward the bottom. Or you have and keep this in mind when you'll have a great take, but your third take is, or one of your takes is similar to a later take that I want to get into later, so then I move you down. Like sometimes if you have one great take, just hold it there, and maybe don't do a third take because sometimes that moves you down. And again.
Why are you telling people that?
I don't know. Can we take this out, fix it in post?
I think I might have to.
Because this is the worst. Because not only that, I don't even do it based on quality. I want quality throughout the show. Like there are times I'm like, this is really good. I want this to be able to anchor toward the bottom, or this really fits the tone we're going to be in there. I try to put some thought into it. I mean, it's not. And so just because you're toward the bottom doesn't mean I don't want. I don't think of your take being good. Please take that out and fix that in post. That may be the first time ever.
Tell me what you're thinking about the next person's third take here. Why you left, where you put him in. Kurt Wisniewski. Number 1, Alabama cannot lose to a 5'8" quarterback. 2, MSU was great in the first half. Sharman soft and no hustle in the second. And 3, Tigers are 80-56.
Which is pretty amazing.
What about, so that take bumped them what?
No,
down
because
a notch?
No, it's the Alabama. It's the Alabama take number 1 versus. You'll see KP. The next person has a Kalen DeBoer take, and I wanted them in one thing together. So it's
AI Couch.
Boom. It is pretty amazing. Sorry, please just take this whole segment out. It is pretty amazing. The Tigers 80-56. Just looking at that record is incredible, isn't it?
I don't believe it.
Yeah, it's. I'm gonna hit the over. I feel good about that.
Yeah. KP. Number 1, Kalen DeBoer will be fired before the end of the season. Jesus. 2, MSU looks like a playoff team. And 3, CJ Daniels' catch was nothing special.
It's pretty good. Hold on. Kalen DeBoer buyout. I want to see what this is.
Yeah, what is that? More than Monty Williams?
Holy shit. His buyout is $70 million. If you're the state of Alabama, which is like 40th in education, you should fix some other things before you buy out Kalen DeBoer. Get some priorities straight.
That's cheaper than what's his nuts though from Jimbo Fisher.
Is it? Jeez.
Yeah, his was like 75, wasn't it?
$70 million. That's a lot to buy out, especially in the day where you've got to pay players and all that.
It's a lot of car dealerships.
I would make sure you were wrong about Kalen DeBoer before you got rid of him for $70 million. I'd be like, you know what? Let's try one more year, because really, unless you know you have somebody, like what'll be interesting is the guy who was just cleared by Northwestern and the hazing stuff with Pat Fitzgerald, who I think would be a fit a lot of places. I think if Pat Fitzgerald, if right now had been Mel Tucker in 2023. And Pat Fitzgerald was available and that thing, I think Pat Fitzgerald would have been the Michigan State head coach. I think Pat Fitzgerald fits a lot of places. And I don't know if he fits at Alabama. I'm just saying, like, unless you really see somebody out there now and you go, that's the future. We screwed this up. We got to find a way out of it. DeBoer has been really good a lot of places, and the question with him is, he's never been somewhere where he's been very long. So like, what level is he recruiting? Long-term culture and that sort of stuff. Like I don't at the highest level, I guess there are some questions. But you hired him. He took a team to the national title game at Washington. I might give it a year. It may not be great this year, and if it falls off at some point, you're going to have to make that call. But $70 million, I would be cautious.
Ken Chu, everyone is overreacting to the Bama and Texas losses. They had the guts to go play major conference teams in true road games. We shouldn't assume that they're trash just because they lost.
100%. And we shouldn't.
Wow.
And we shouldn't assume
gambling related. A lot of it,
Yeah, we shouldn't assume people that win are great. Sometimes those teams are ass. And I like Florida State. It'll be interesting to see what their roster. Their roster's had a lot of turnover since then. But 2 years ago they were playing for playoff bid, right? And that was I wouldn't. Bama did not look good though. They did not look imposing up front. And now that's Chris Kapilovic, the former Michigan State. Kapilovic, sorry.
Cockburn.
Fix it in post. That's the former MSU offensive line coach, which didn't bode well for him.
MRWND next. I was chesty about MSU after the first half on Friday. The second half was concerning. Justin Thin swears we were keeping the game plan vanilla intentionally, which has become my new least favorite annual take of his. Are we good or are we ass? That's what Thin did that?
Yeah. You don't want to have too many annual takes. I have a few annual takes. It annoys people. So let Justin know. Maybe back off that annual take because it's not always right. I think it's TBD, and I think it's somewhere in the middle too. I do not think this is a bad team. I think there's too much defensively that was promising. I think there's too much character in certain ways. I think they're too good at receiver. I think there's some steps up on the offensive line. Like they're not going to be a bad team. I don't believe. The question is how good are they, and that we don't know. And some of that's going to depend on how good Chiles can be. And there were some things in the first game that make you go eh. And so we'll see. We'll see game 2.
Mr. Benjen, number 1, hell of a game by 72. Caleb Carter got out to block next-level linebackers, sealed off the holes, and led the first touchdown run. MSU might have an O-line. And 2, Chiles has the accuracy of a musket man on a tilt-a-whirl. I've heard that one before. All right, so many completions were wide or behind the receiver. And 3, these corners have the ball in the air awareness of a blind and drunk chicken crossing the road.
Not a fan of some
these
of the
like old-timey?
Yeah, old-timey.
See? Never going to catch me, coppa, you see.
It's almost like it's very close to your Krzyzewski.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Caleb Carter, I do want to highlight this, playing right guard quite a bit. Like, Western Carolina transfer, another guy that get out of the portal, just looked really good. And just the ability to identify those guys quickly, and they seem to have done a nice job with this. And this is important because one of the real big things you have to do now is a staff, which will determine whether you're a great staff. In the revenue-sharing era where you have to decide your resources and who you're going to get, you got to be able to go find an offensive tackle or offensive guard from Western Carolina that fits, that's really good, that's ready to take, that stuff matters. Your ability to identify talent and get the right guys. You cannot just go overspend with everybody. And even if the money becomes, even if you wind up having more money than a lot of people, it's just hard to do. And I think the early returns on their transfers are really good.
Couch on fire next. My 3 takes on Michigan State. Number 1, Chiles' accuracy and decision-making still subpar. 2, defense improved, but the best defensive end was on Western. And 3, punting still a strong suit for the program. And bonus, Parsons to Green Bay. Seems Tigers and Lions want to win, just not championships.
Yeah, I'm hearing this a lot. Like they're not making the move. But
did we call and find out what the asking price? And
well, let me ask you this: paying what they're paying him a year. Now he's just entering his prime. I'm not saying it's wrong, but with all the guys they have to pay, could the Lions even do it? I don't even know.
I don't know. I'm just wondering if we make a call is all.
Yeah, and maybe they did.
I would love to try to figure out having a Micah Parsons on the Lions, though, and not the Packers.
Correct.
Right? Like, I think I would like to try to figure out what they would want.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Jerry Jones. Matt C, number one, under Jonathan Smith, MSU has scored over 30 once against a Power 5 team in 13 games. It's pathetic for a so-called offensive genius head coach. And 2, Chiles' improved decision-making doesn't mean anything if the offense can't score at least 30 a game and you fumble twice a game. Needs huge improvement next week. And 3, if we didn't have a bum AD in Haller, what the fuck is he saying? In year 2 of Urban Meyer was Sam Levitt as our quarterback competing for the Big Ten title.
Sam Levitt threw a pick, and against a not great opponent for.
So you mean if Alan Haller was never the AD, we'd have Urban Meyer and Sam Levitt right now?
Yeah, no.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Alan.
I don't know. Ishbia might have hired Bradley Beal to be the coach. I don't know if that's where you want to go. I'm not gonna like Ishbia's influence. He has to sit out. It's like a penalty box. He's got until the Phoenix Suns are a little less dumpster fire because of sort of the new owner syndrome, and I can fix everything through. Like if you want to do that with Michigan State and money, and he wants to spend that way through the roster and everything else, then you listen. But man. What he did to the Suns, like there's a real question with personnel. Like I'm not going to shit on Ishbia. I mean, he's done a lot of good stuff.
Too late.
For Michigan
Keep it going.
State. No, I'm sorry.
Ratings.
The Suns thing.
Clip this.
You would not. There is no team you'd rather not be more than the Phoenix Suns, and Ishbia is the owner. And so, that's all. That's all. Yeah.
Here's why Matt Ishbia's ass.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying his
that would get subscriptions. Though.
Personnel decisions. He's gone through a number of head coaches. They have not. I mean, it's not.
My problem with Matt Ishbia.
No, that's all.
He only spells Matt with one T. Number one. Big John Hogg, number one. AVS is Alex Van Summeren. Couch.
Sorry. The abbreviation stuff get me every time. I don't know. These are like message board things. Idea. Everybody starts abbreviating stuff, and I'm like way behind the times.
Felt like that was an easy one. Dude balled out on Thursday. 2, stadium experience was good.
That should be new. Sorry, I lost an there. And on the copy paste, my bad.
Lines for concessions were very long. And 3, keep the lats coming. Eventually, he'll be a Wednesday guest and bonus. Got by Wells Hall Preacher. They are the worst. What's that?
Come on.
I don't know.
A Wells Hall Preacher. Those people that preach the Jesus outside of.
Now we're getting all this stuff that's like above.
Oh, you're gonna look it up?
I am. Hold on.
And I ride.
Wells Hall Preacher.
Oh, it's a Michigan State thing. The preachers on MSU's campus, and they've been preaching around about hell and determination near Wells Hall.
I mean, oops. Yeah.
You're praising. You're giving the Lord.
Yes, I do. I say his name a lot during games.
You are the Wells Hall Preacher. Yeah, that's
gambling related. Yeah. That's what I'll tell the Wells Hall Preacher. Danimal next. Number one, if we played the whole game like we did the first half, I'd say we are going to go 8-4 or better. Instead, I'm thinking 6-6 or 5-7 again. And 2, people who sit at their table at restaurants for 20-plus minutes after they've paid their check while there is clearly a wait are incredibly selfish.
Yeah, you got to know your surroundings if you're going to do that. Or you got to let them know.
Yeah, but it goes both ways. Like, we were at B-Dubs last weekend. I was mid-bite, and the guy's like, ready for your check? I'm like, goddamn, dude, can I just finish my meal? Like, what is happening here?
No, and you can let them know. I mean, there are times, hey, we're here to hang. We're going to linger. It'll be reflected in your tip. We may order again.
We got nothing else to do.
Yeah, so
we're going to be here for the long haul.
So I think if you just
prepare yourself for seeing this face.
And sometimes you're there to see people, and the wait is not your
problem.
problem.
Go to your house. Why do you have to loiter for 2 hours at a restaurant?
I'm not saying it should be 2 hours.
That's why the chairs are made, they're uncomfortable for a reason. So you eventually get your ass out of there and let other people sit down.
Chairs aren't uncomfortable at restaurants for that reason.
By the way, we're going to be here for a while. Like, who would say that?
Well, I do sometimes.
I know. It's terrible.
But I tip reflectively. I make I tip
so
based
that makes it okay?
You tip based on time.
18% instead of 15%?
Oh, like 50%.
What?
You tip based on time.
Dude, that's COVID tipping. 50%.
Well, you just tip based on time. It's like I never. Jesus. For example, when I was
what's the point of going out anymore?
When I was in college, I used to go to this place called the South Loop Club on State and Balboa in Chicago, and it was a 4 a.m. bar. Sometimes we'd closed out the night before, gone back to the residence halls, and then it'd be 11 a.m. Central Time kickoff, and I'd be back over there to watch the games. I did not want to drink anything. Yeah. I didn't want to eat anything yet. And I would sit there and I'd look at I get like a diet soda and a water, and I would just maybe have a $6 burger at some point, and I'd be there for 3.5 hours taking up a table. But then I would tip like we had ordered.
It's called the John Freeberg.
You tip a ton, and I had my parents' credit card, and I'd be like, here, I'm going to lay this sucker down and charge my folks. Let's go. Let's $60. Let's do it. Let's make you pay for your time.
All right. Hans Jurgens next. Number 1, unhappy with MSU's performance, but before I go nuclear, I'll wait until we see how they do against BC. That is the swing game of the season. And 2, don't fixate on those who don't give you love. Concentrate on those who do. And 3, MSU's second half offensive performance was as horrid as Graham's columns.
Fair.
How do you like my nightmare sports season parlay? Yankees win the World Series, Go Blow wins the football and basketball natties, and the Steelers win the Super Bowl. 1 quarter, 25 cents, pays $100,000. Yankee fans are as obnoxious as Go Blow fans.
So here's the problem. Once you put it out there in the world, you have to do it in case it happens, because then you'd be like, wait, I could add $100,000 for a quarter. I just don't.
Yeah, but that one's so ridiculous.
The Steelers aren't going to do it. Yeah, and Michigan's not going to do it with a freshman quarterback. So I mean, the Yankees obviously could win the World Series. Michigan basketball looks like a heck of a roster. You never know. Like there are 2 of those that could.
But save your quarter.
Yeah, spend it on 1/90th of an LSJ weekly subscription.
But $19.99 2 days after. Jake Hawkins, number 1, went to the MSU game Friday night. Felt good to have a nice, crisp, cool fall weather. A beautiful day for football indeed. But a new thing about going to the game, media timeouts are ass, especially since there's so many. Hey, Treese, there's your next T-shirt idea.
Media timeouts are ass. I love it.
It's a little wordy.
I don't know. College, it's less wordy than college football is, or college refs are ass.
Not.
Same.
It's really not.
Okay.
2, my game analysis. Defense looked great, not allowing a single point. Offense had their moments, but concerned with putting up just 2 points in the whole second half. Here's an idea. Put 30-plus points on the scoreboard first, then rotate offensive line guys in to try them at different positions. And 3, hey, Brad Holmes, while I love what you've done with the Lions this far, still think it's okay to have just 1 edge rusher? Still wanting to ride with Marcus Davenport? Okay, but look at what your green and gold division rivals just did in getting Micah Parsons. They ain't fucking around. An extra take. Is Jerry Jones becoming incompetent, senile, and possibly having dementia while also being cheap and chilling on your James Bond yacht? He bought the Cowboys in '89 for $140 million. Green Bay gave Micah Parsons 97% of that guaranteed. America's team, huh?
Jake is not happy about this trade. Yeah, I mean, I am always,
I feel if he had dementia, though, he'd just pay it. Like, he wouldn't even fight with it.
That's right. Go over the cap and not realize it. Yeah. I do also think, like, if football players, I feel differently than some other sports. How I feel. I'd save half the roster till week 11 or whatever. And chances are Micah Parsons will be out for the year by week 5. So I don't know that you want to ever spend that much on one dude on defense. It just
I know, but a guy at that level,
he's really good. Yeah, he's really good.
I'm just saying. I understand other guys, but man, Micah Parsons is that one guy. You go, And finally, Upper Deck Jerk Guy. I have no idea how good the Spartans will be after that game. The run game was encouraging, though. And bonus, Havangi dyslexia is nasfo a ibich.
I think it's having dyslexia is a bitch, is what he was saying. Which,
but phonetically put it, if you had dyslexia,
this is what it would look like.
Havangi dyslexia is.
And I think he said a good thing. I mean, after all that Michigan State football takes, the idea of he said a good thing here, but he has no idea how good the Spartans will be after the game. But the run game was encouraging. Like that is one.
You have no idea though. Your team can't score a point in the second half after last year. What the offense did.
Big week.
I mean, I got to,
Big week this week. Big week this week.
Must win.
Must win. We appreciate all of you for producing our show, hanging with us all summer to get to this football season, which, of course, is Muskox flannel season. Go Muskox.com and the promo code Peacock. for $15 off your flannel purchase for Couch and the Rube listeners. We appreciate Midtown Brewing Company. There's a place you can linger. You can have a meal and you can linger, and nobody's going to bother you. Well, unless they're really packed. But I can't imagine, they're not going to. I can't imagine them being rude about it. Even if you were putting stress on the situation. Great place for trivia night. Great place if you want to linger. That's a great way to linger. Great place for a beer after work, a date night, and of course our friends at Xfinity and Comcast. If you want to make sure you've got all the games, or you want the best Wi-Fi options, and you want to have the best mobile connection, whatever it is, go to Xfinity.com and look what options are available to you in your area. Good show, man. We'll be back probably Thursday. We've got a little bit of a conflict Wednesday. We'll talk to you soon. Good show.
Yeah, man.
Touch the Roof.